Aloha and welcome to the 15th edition of Women in Business Seminar Series. My name is Annette Lint. I'm Director of Communications with Maui Economic Development Board. I'm just going to run you through a little bit of preparation before we get on to the main event, our guest speaker. So let me just go back a little bit and make sure we've got just a little bit of housekeeping. So as always, we are recording the presentations that will be available after, usually within 24 hours. We'll post that up on the website and we'll also send out a notice about that. I can see many of you have got your name up there. If you want to put your organization after your name, there's a rename feature so we know your organization's name. Please remain muted unless you are called to speak, and we will have time at the end for Q&A, and you can either type your questions into the chat or you can put up your hand either physically or using the digital hand and let us know you want to ask a question. We do like these presentations and webinars to be interactive, so please bring your questions to us. And I'd like to introduce Leslie Wilkins, President and CEO of Maui Economic Development Board, to say a few words, and we'll be introducing our speaker for today.
Great. Thank you so much, Annette. I appreciate it. First of all, happy National Small Business Week. This week is so named by the Small Business Administration and is to celebrate the contributions of small businesses to our economy. They are the biggest employers of the nation. We think of big corporations and government, but in the end, it is our small businesses that are the employers of our nation. So it's only appropriate today that we introduce one of our WBEC-West partners that stands for the Women Business Enterprise Council. They're the Western region, which is our partner. It's where Hawaii falls under, but they're part of the National Women's Business Enterprise Council. And our speaker today is the Vice President and Development and Engagement Officer for WBEC-West. It is Jamie Lomax. For over 25 years, she has been an award-winning corporate diversity professional. So we are thrilled to have her share her mana'o and her expertise. She is committed to supplier diversity and is immensely proud to be a part of WBEC. And I can understand why. They have really been a tremendous partner for MEDB over the past 2 years, helping our women business owners reach their economic potential and many to get certified as a women-owned business. So she is definitely about enhancing corporation relationships and outreach programs and creating opportunities for all those women business enterprise certified businesses. So we are absolutely delighted to welcome Jamie Lomax, again, Vice President of Development and Engagement for our favorite partner, WBEC-West. Thank you, Jamie, for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate it. I just want to add a little bit more of my background to emphasize capability statements. So I've been a supplier diversity professional, as she said, for 25 years, working with Fortune 500 companies in the procurement and supplier diversity side as well. I've been involved with this organization. I've just learned since 1999. So I absolutely believe in this organization is absolutely phenomenal. And they really do everything they say they're going to do, that their mission is strong and clear. And I was so excited to, I was set on the executive board and then become an employee with the organization because I am very passionate in making sure that there's inclusion for women-owned businesses. So thank you very much for having me. I'm super excited to have this conversation. So the reason why I shared my background is because I can really tell you from the corporate side of the house how important a capability statement is and receiving a capability statement, because I will tell you there's been plenty of them that I've done nothing with at all. When people would walk away, in all honesty, I might have tossed that information because it wasn't beneficial for my corporation. So I would love to share some of this information with you, and I'm super excited. So we appreciate you all for including us and allowing us to speak to all of your women-owned businesses out there. So with that, I am going to go ahead and share my screen. And if you can just nod your head. Actually, how many women do we have registered right now? Is it possible that I have them do a quick introduction? So I'm going to act like a corporation so listen to what I'm saying, if you could just say your name, your company, and your trade, not everything that you do, because I'm sure your company does so much, but if you could quickly say HR or construction, just that one word, I would greatly appreciate that. So is it possible, Annette, or if someone could call the ladies' names 3 at a time? And again, we've got 10 seconds because I've got so much information that I want to share with you, but I'd love to know who my audience is.
Sure, Jamie. I'll go by alphabetically by what I see. So Cynthia, then Candace, then Casey.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Reeves, and consulting, education, training, grant writing.
Thank you.
Aloha, I'm Candace Shaw. I'm the CEO of Astute Consulting. I focus on marketing, business development, and business planning.
Hearing Casey, if Casey can come on, and I've got next Cheyenne, Crystal Lopez, Cindy Mayo.
Hi. I got in a little late. I'm sorry, I missed the prompt.
Sure. If it's just your name, your company, and one word, what trade you're in, construction. We can't have all the details because I don't have enough time to get everyone's full background, but if you could just quickly let me know, that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Casey Morin. Let's see, one word. I'm gonna go with design, and my company is Kide Concepts.
Thank you.
Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Crystal, and I'm in agriculture, and my farm name is LF Farms LLC.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cindy Mayo Akio. I'm with the Peekables, and it's with Children's Entertainment.
Wonderful.
All right, I've got next Elizabeth Valentina, then Jerry Hewa, and then Honu Engineering Jonah.
Hi, yes, I'm Elizabeth Valentina, CEO, NAR Design Group, and we are interior architecture and design.
Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Jerry Lynn Heva. I am also with the Peekables, and we are in children's entertainment.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Jonah Heller. I'm with Honu Engineering, like the sea turtle, and also like the name, we do engineering.
Thank you.
I've got Irene next, then Jetami and Jillian.
Hi, I'm
Sorry if I'm butchering
Marina.
the names.
Hi, I'm Marina. I don't have a company yet.
No worries. Nice to meet you.
Aloha, my name is Jitem Ariola, and I'm also just representing DBED, our Small Business Regulatory Review Board. I'm just here in terms of support for women in business. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I'm Jillian Dillon. I'm the founder and executive director of Technology Aloha. We specialize in digital marketing and funding strategy for nonprofits.
You, Justin Dietrich, then Christy, then Liz Chang.
Hi, I'm Justin Dietrich, Essential Builders, General Contractor, Service Disabled, veteran owned.
Wonderful. Thank you for your service.
Hi, my name is Christy Scanlon. My company is Honest Clean LLC, and I'm in janitorial.
Thank you. Okay.
Liz says she's her mic's not on there, but if you want to type in your business name and what you do, Liz. And Michelle, your camera is off, but can you tell us about you?
My name is Michelle Winehouse, and I am the sole proprietor farmer for Kapua's Farm, Lanai.
Thank you. Okay, so I believe we had everyone. Is that correct?
Yep. Let me know if you didn't. And we have a couple there in the chat. Cheyenne from Premier Disposal Waste Removal Services, and Liz, mechanical engineer in Hawaii with HR and marketing.
Fantastic. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for sharing your trade with me. So it just better helps me when I'm doing my presentation. So let's get this started. So again, good afternoon, and thank you for joining me today. Our first slide dives into the purpose of capability statements. Thinking about as your company elevates a pitch, but on paper, it's your chance to showcase why you stand out from the competition and why you are the best fit for the job. A capability statement serves of multiple functions. Firstly, it acts as proof of your qualifications and past experiences. It's a virtual introduction to your company, allowing potential clients or partners to get a glimpse of what you bring to the table. But what sets you apart? That's where the capability statement shines. It highlights what makes your company different from others. Answering the crucial question, why should your company be the company of choice? It's your opportunity to make a compelling case for your expertise and why you're the best company for hire. So to share with you, a capability statement is your passport to opportunities. It's your ticket to standing out in a crowd marketplace. It's not just a document, it's your key to success. So this is a visual of a capability statement. I know it's a little small print, but hopefully you're able to see it. But let's look at this visual representation of a capability statement. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and this holds true for a capability statement as well. Imagine this document in your hands. It's not just a piece of paper, it's your company's snapshot, encapsulation of your strengths, expertise, your past achievements. It's designed to make a lasting impression on anyone who lays eyes on it. In this image, you can see the accumulation of hard work and dedication. Every word, every graphic, every detail is carefully crafted to reflect the essence of your company. It's not just a document. As I said, it's a powerful tool that speaks volumes about who you are and what you can deliver. So as you visualize your capability statements, remember the impact it can have. Again, it's not just about what it says, it's about a story it tells and what opportunities it unlocks. So when you're putting a capability to statement, and I'll actually put this in chat after I read it, I'm going to give you some great tips right now. Your capability statement should have your name. It should have a photo of the owner, photo of the person sharing the capability statement as well. It should have your title, an updated photo, and your email address. And I know, a person like myself, I like to use my photo from before COVID when I was 45 pounds lighter, but that's not really what I look like now. So if I were to meet someone walking down the hall, they're probably not going to recognize me. So it's really important that you use current photos of what you really look like. And again, because if someone sees you passing the hall in a conference or anywhere, they want to be able to identify you, not what you look like 22 years ago, whatever that might be. And what specifically does your company do? So a procurement or a non-industry expert can understand it. So this to me is really important. So if you're going to a conference, I'm just going to make up a story, but let's just say you're going to a conference and it's strategic sourcing. So I know that we have a couple of designers there. So maybe my company is company A, and we're looking for designers and we're looking for an engineering firm. So I'm a supplier diversity specialist, but my background happens to be in IT. But I'm going to the conference on behalf of my company, and what they're looking for is a designer and an engineering company. So I've shared that information with the organization that I'm going to go and work with. So they've matched me up with you. So I'm not an expert in your industry. So you have to be very clear to explain to me what your company does, even if it is a strategic matchmaker and it's not an unstrategic one. The person normally sitting across from you, which is your supplier diversity professional, is not an expert in your industry. So I always tell people you should kind of talk in Hasbro language, right? Because in truth, background is construction, right? So if I'm talking about different equipment, it's very common with those folks that are in construction. But those of you outside of construction, it doesn't really make sense. So you have to imagine that person that you're speaking to does not quite understand what your business is. So you need to be very clear when you're explaining to them what your business does. And also you should talk about what are your NAICS codes. And not just write out the NAICS codes. Like on this capability statement, you'll see like they just wrote their NAICS codes. When I receive capability statement, I always want it written out. What does each of those NAICS codes stand for? Because a lot of companies will search by NAICS codes, but a lot of them will also search by keywords. So it's really important to make sure you write out what those NAICS codes are. And why you instead of your, and why should they choose you instead of the competitors? Like, what are you offering that sets you apart from them? So for instance, a lot of corporations, maybe you're working for one of the big corporations, you know, one of the large Fortune 500 companies, you have a non-disclosure with them and it states to them, like, I'm going to make up Google. Let's just say you're working with Google, but you're not allowed to use their, to share that information. You have a non-disclosure with them. So you can't put like their logo on a capability statement or anything. But what you can say on your capability statement is, I work with the top 5 social media companies or IT companies or whatever that might be, to give people a hint of this is probably who you're working for. You're just not utilizing their name for whatever, for reasons you can't really share. And can you share any testimonials or statistics that you have that show why you're better than the other company? So again, let's just talk about engineering, because again, my background is construction. There's hundreds of engineering companies. Why should they choose you instead of their incumbent or another engineering company? So you have to really be able to explain that. So if you have a story that you can share, that you had something that was due on May 15th, but you were able to complete it, you know, May 1st, that separates you from everyone else, right? That's showing that you're delivering earlier than what expected. They want to hear what those great stories are. If you had to step in and cover for another company that something fell apart, those are some of the information you need to see. If you're a cybersecurity company and it normally takes 24 hours to fix this particular issue, but your company is able to solve it in 7 hours, that's something that should be on the capability statement, because that will separate your cybersecurity company than all the others. And does your capability statement match your website? And that's going to be very interesting. So I do a thing when I work with WBEs that I ask them for them to do a collage. And I would encourage you all to create a collage for yourself. And you really just want to take like a PowerPoint deck and you want to do a screenshot of your website, where your landing page. And then maybe look at your collateral that you're handing out, like your marketing materials. Do they match? Are they the same color? Does your business card match? Does your capability statement match? Because branding is very important. When they see your capability statements, it should match your website. It should have some of that detail in there, the important detail in that capability statement. And again, the brand needs to match your website. And does your website have your capability statements? And are your business cards looking consistent? And how large is your font? Seasoned people need to be able to read what you're writing. I'm 50 years old now. I'm really 52, but I'm just going to stick with 50. I'm 50 years old. And so sometimes you have so much information you want to share and you're using small font. You need to make sure it's a font that everyone can read. And you should always have some graphics. With only verbiage, you will lose interest in someone. So you should have graphics. So if your company happens to be a construction company, maybe you have some photos of some of the work that you've done or some of the employees that you have on here. So a corporate member, I will tell you, when you're meeting with them, the first 15 seconds, they want to know what your business does. 15 seconds. It's crazy, but 15 seconds, they want to glance at this really quick and go, it's very clean and clear that this is a design company or this is an engineering company. It should be very clear. And it should be clear what your name is when you're putting a capability statements. People should not have to read throughout the capability statement to find out what your company name is. It should be very clean and clear. And what I will tell you, what I have learned, when you're working with corporations, they love those visuals. But if you're doing work for government, those visuals aren't really necessary. They like a lot of verbiage. So it might look different depending on who your clientele is or what businesses you're going after. And again, do you have permission to list the companies that you're working with or you've worked with in the past? If so, make sure you add their logos. If not, again, like I said, you can say something like, I've worked with the top utility companies in the nation, or something like that. Or, and does your company have a tagline? If so, it makes sense to people who are not in your industry. There's a young lady that I work with, and she's an environmentalist. And so her tagline is something like, my job is to keep you out of environmental jail. So that was kind of her tagline for people to understand what her company does. Does anyone have any questions so far? I've got a little slide here that I would like to share with you. We're going to have them put it in chat. And so when they put this in chat, just let us know that it's in there. And if you can click on it and open it, what I'm interested in asking you is, you don't have to circle anything, but if you can unmute yourself, and we'll have some questions. Annette, I don't know if you mind, because I can't see everyone on my screen. If they will raise their hand and you can call on them. And what I would like to see is, it will take like 2 minutes or a minute and a half for you to read this capability statement. And I'm really interested, if you are a buyer, let's just pretend you're a buyer, is this a company you would want to do business with, by just visualizing and looking at the capability statements? Have we put the, is it in the chat as of yet? Perfect.
Yeah, it is there. I'm looking for digital hands. I can't see the whole gallery, so.
No worries. If you can just raise your hand or unmute yourself, there's not a lot of us, unless we start talking over each other, then we'll stop and go back to that. But if you have read this, and just give me a little feedback about what you think about this capability statements, and is this a company you'd want to do business with? And don't be shy.
Well, to me, the statement, it's very blurry, but it looks beautiful. Like the whole thing looks very put together.
Okay,
But I can't read it. It's blurry.
I think there's a way that you can size it when you click on it. If you minimize it, you should be able to see it a little bit clearer.
Oh. Yeah, I'm able to just like kind of scroll and blow it up. That's all.
Sorry about that. Let me see if I can open it up in the share. And
Cynthia's got a hand up, so I'll unmute her, and I've got some comments as well in the text. So Cynthia, do you want to unmute yourself and comment?
Yes, I really liked the listing of organizations that she worked for at the bottom. I thought that was really impressive.
Okay, good. So you like the clients?
Other comments in the chat. Michelle says the first thing that pops into her head is it sounds expensive. And Justin says, looks great, great example to emulate.
Anyone else? Is there something that, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Candace. I mean, I think it looks great. And if I was looking for the specific service that she provides for events, I think I would want to work with her. It did, the about section got a little bit unclear for a period of time, I felt like, but I really like the bullet points. I'm seeing some really huge names and other government contractors in here. So that means that she's probably a registered government contractor as well. She'd probably be someone to build a good relationship with for referrals and potential meeting other people too.
And Jerry has got a hand up as well. Thanks, Candace.
Hi, yes, sorry, I'm just logging in from my phone, so I had to kind of go back and forth too. But yeah, I agree with what they said as well. I like that on the right side, there was kind of like the bullet points just to get a quick overview of the company. And then if you wanted to learn more about the company, you can go into that about event more section. And I did like that the first section really told you exactly what their company does.
And is there anything that you dislike about the capability statement? And this is her first one, and she knows that I utilize this all the time. So feel free to say anything you choose to. But is there anything?
Justin has his hand up.
Okay, Justin.
I guess, as a new business and stuff, like, do we want to focus on ourselves or actually the capabilities of the business? Like terminology, do we want to use I or we, or what would be your recommendation on that?
You're spot on. I've noticed that her awards and recognition, it's about her and not about the company, if you notice that. And this is not a resume for the owner. This is about the business.
Okay, so you would suggest trying to do a more of a focus on the actual business, not necessarily the person.
It's 100% the business. Capability statement is a business.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm going to show you her revised version of this afterwards to show the difference of some of the changes that she's added to it. And then like the about event movers, that's a lot of information in there. And I apologize that it's not very clear. What I will do though is I will send this to you all. I will send this to the organization and they can distribute this if it's okay with them, just so you can kind of have a comparison of what you're looking at. She's on here. Does it say what her territory is? Like what area does she cover? Is she a national organization? Is she specifically in one state? That's some of the information their corporations are going to ask. And then also, I don't see her name, or her name is kind of off to the side and it's not underneath who she is. And normally it's all together. You shouldn't have to kind of look all over to find the person's information. So what I would like to do is to go to the next slide, if you don't mind. And she's going to drop that in there for everyone to go ahead and look at.
And just while you're doing that, just some other comments were that this is the noticing that it's certified WBEC and women-owned company. Someone suggested links to their social media would be a nice finish. Wow. And also someone thought that the whole company data certification section be to the left side versus the right. So I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but I'll let you talk about this comparison.
Sure. And I'm going to go and try and open it as well because I can't necessarily see it on this, but also let me stop this so I can open this and see what else. Okay, so what do you all think about this format? Is a little more clear. So, the first one, the about event movers, it's a lot of verbiage, and now it's kind of broken out over here. So it's founded 16 years ago. We offer worldwide transportation services. So it's very clear what she does. She does exhibit booths. She does large and small ones, production vehicles, specialty vehicles, specializes in products, equipment, promotional tour sets. So it's very clean and clear on the new updated one of what she is. It also has where she's located. This is where she has her offices. Her first one, it didn't mention where her facilities and where her office was located. And then her contact information, she made it very clean and clear over here. And she was able to put some of her clients, which is huge, right? So you can see that it's, Nissan and Mercedes-Benz. So if you're talking to an event mover company and you saw that first capability statements, and on the next one, you see that she's working with Mercedes or with Nissan, again, that's separating her from all the other event movers.
So I found that the first one, I was like, oh, well, I don't know what to do with this company. But this one, actually, I could connect with them a little bit better. Like, okay, now I know how we can connect and maybe collaborate and how I can use her services.
Right. And previously she listed her clients, you said her partial clients, and she named all of them, which were very, it's phenomenal, but not all of us that aren't in that industry would necessarily know what trade those companies were in. So on the new one, she very clearly put auto show, trade show, special events, tours. So it's very clean and clear what partial clients she had and what she Does anyone else have any comments? And you'll see her NICS codes. Her NICS codes are actually spelled out. And then the awards are about the company, not about her. Is there any other questions?
She's got a couple of different logos at the bottom here. What are those intended to describe?
Sure. So those are showing the certificates that she has. She's been certified. So she has a WBEC, so she's certified as a women business enterprise. So the WBEC one doesn't actually need to be there. That's a good catch because woman owned is from the same organization. So it's stating that this is a woman owned organization and she's certified. Then she's saying that she has these other certifications, the HCEA, that's a certification that she has. So if her clientele is in the same industry as her, it's important that they know that she has these certifications because it differentiates her. Again, making up a story, but let's just say you're going after Walt Disney. We know that Walt Disney has a supplier diversity program. So it's important to have, this is a woman-owned logo on that capability statement, because again, if she had these two and they only could walk away with one, they have a program for diversity. They're going to choose the one that shows a person is certified because they're not going to take all the time to research that company. You really want them to be able to quickly glance at this capability statement and know what your business does. So if you're an engineering firm, if you have certain certificates that not every other engineering firm has, you want to put that on there. You might want to underneath put what it's for, because again, you might be meeting with someone that's not in your engineering area. Any more comments? And she's sharing her different licenses. So if you have different licenses as well. Does this make sense so far, everyone? Okay. So as we explore the key characteristics of a capability statement, it's essential to understand how it differs from a company's profile. So that's very different, and a lot of people get those confused. So it is different than a company profile. A company profile provides a comprehensive overview of the organization. It dives deep into the company's history, the mission, the values, the products and services, the target market, achievements, and other relevant information. It serves as a marketing tool to introduce the company to potential clients, partners, investors, or other stakeholders. A company profile typically includes a narrative description, visuals such as logos or images, and may be presented in various formats such as documents, presentations, or a web page. On the other hand, a capability statement, it consists of documents that highlight the specific capabilities and qualifications and the past performances of a company in delivering goods or services. It's typically used in government contracting, procurement, or B2B engagements. And so for those of you that might be new in business, B2B is business to business engagements where companies need to showcase their expertise, experiences, and capability to fulfill specific requirements or contracts. Again, a capability statement often includes key information such as your core competence, the certifications, the company's sustainability, sorry about that, for particular projects or opportunities, or emphasize how its capability aligns with the needs of the client or the contracting entity. So it's very important to know that sometimes you might have 5 capability statements. You know, maybe you're going after healthcare, so you should have a capability statement that is targeted and talks about your expertise in working in the healthcare industry. Or if you're also going after the entertainment area, it should have information about, here's some of the entertainment companies that I've worked with, and this is some of the work that I've done with them. So here I want to let's dive into how capability statements are utilized in various contexts. So these documents are more than just pieces of paper. As I said, they are essential tools of business arsenal. It truly is. Firstly, capability statements can be required when registering on a corporate vendor portal or showcasing your company in an event like the WBEC-West matchmaker system. Do you all know what a matchmaker is? So if you could raise your hand and let me know if you don't know what a matchmaker is, and feel absolutely free in letting us know if you don't. And Annette, if you can let me know if anyone is raising their hand, because I would love to explain it to them very quickly. So if you do not know what a matchmaker is, I will quickly explain it.
I'm seeing a couple of hands there.
Perfect. So what a matchmaker is you kind of have to think of a matchmaking as the kind of like speed dating. So what might happen is you go to a meeting and you have Walt Disney Company, you have a utility company, you have Honda Corporation. And so you're going in to meet with them. You should have a capability statement to leave behind with them, to say, here's my information about my company, and it gives you something to talk about. And this capability statement should give them such an excitement that they want to go to your website to learn more about your business. And when we were talking and looking at that capability statement earlier, you know, thinking about the times now, things have changed. Right now, a lot of people are using QR codes, right? So maybe on your capability statement, you put your QR code that drives them to your website. That's something else that you can do that's be unique. Just make sure you do things like that. But a matchmaker is really like speed dating. So you'll go in and you'll speak to the utility company. You have about 8 minutes or 15 minutes, and then you'll get up from there, and then you'll go to the next company, and then you'll do the same thing and have the same conversation. You'll get up from there and go to the next company. So that's called a matchmaker. So sometimes they have strategic matchmakers where corporations just want to know what businesses are out there that are women-owned, or they've gone to the organization and say, hey, I'm looking for companies in this particular trades. Those are the folks that I want to meet with. Again, imagine that you're in a room filled with professionals from various industries and all with unique skills and services and products to offer. Now imagine that there's someone in the room whose sole purpose is to connect with you, with the perfect business partner, client, or collaborators. That someone in this business matchmaker, a business matchmaker, again, it acts as a facilitator, bringing together individuals and the companies who complement each other in needs and capabilities. They play a pivotal role in fostering connections and fostering collaboration and driving growth within the business community. But how does the business matchmaker work? Again, you meet the experts, it's networking, it's the resourcing, and having that capability statement. And it's so important on your capability statement to also say what geographical area you're located in. And again, if you're an employee that's going out and you're the salesperson, you should have the photo of the business owner on there, but you should also have a picture of yourself. So if you contact them later, they can go back and look into, oh, I remember that. Most corporations are meeting with lots of different people, so they're going to forget what your company does, unfortunately. So having your photo, it will trigger like, oh yeah, I remember meeting her, and then they're going to remember what those conversations were about. Again, in summary, a business matchmaker is like a bridge between opportunities and success. They bring together individual companies, fostering the collaboration. So the next time you're looking to expand your network, make sure you partner up with someone, make sure that you attend some of those matchmakers that are out there, and make sure that you have capability statements that provide the foundational information for various procurement processes. And also, if you're going out and sometimes corporations ask for RFIs, which is requests for information. There might be an RFP, request for proposal. There might be an RFQ, which is a request for a quote. So whenever these go out, attaching your capability statement serves you an initial introduction as a decision maker can see everything that your company does. But again, it doesn't stop there. Capability statements are also invaluable on the one-on-one strategic business connections, as I said, live meetings as well. Sometimes you can show those, and it provides the perfect opportunity to showcase your past performances, especially if you've done some phenomenal work that separates you from everyone else. You want to make sure that they have an idea of what your company does. And then as we conclude on the discussion, because I'm going to answer some questions, and I'm more than happy to send you some of our links to some of our capability statements to give you an idea of what the different capability statements look like. But as we conclude our discussion, again, let's talk about the importance of maintaining your capability statement. Remember, this document is not a statistic. It's a living, breathing representation of your company's capability and expertise. Firstly, your capability statement should have multiple versions to cater to different needs, as we discussed earlier, whether it's an online version on your website or a digital PDF for email attachments or hard copies for in-person meetings. Having various formats ensure access for all stakeholders. But it's not just about the format, it's about the content. Your capability statement should be regularly updated with new services, products, and offerings. Again, just as we just spoke, if your company has a QR code that goes to your website, let's add that to it. As your company evolves, you should so should your capability statement. You want to keep it fresh, you want to keep it relevant to ensure the accuracy reflects your current capabilities and achievements. Consider tailoring the capability statements for different industries, as we spoke about. A one-size-fits-all approach may not always be effective. It's good to have a general one to share with everyone, but you should really try to make sure that it's targeted towards your audiences. Customize your capability statements. It resonates with specific audiences, highlight the relevant experiences and competence. In essence, treat your capability statement as a dynamic document that evolves with the company. Keep it updated, diversify it, and target it to maximize its impact and effectiveness. By doing so, you will ensure that your capability statement continues to be a powerful tool in your business toolbox. And so what I also am going to do for you all is I'm going to give you a little tip I'm going to throw in the chat. And for those of you that might not know how, that's a lot of information. Let's see if it, can you all see that? Maybe click on it. Those are tips for you on what should be on a capability statement.
I see it.
Perfect. So as it says, it's to have your name, the photo of the owner, as we said, sharing information. Now, does anyone have any questions about the capability statement? And this is something else that I would also do. After you create that capability statement, and you should do a couple of drafts of it, I would go and ask someone who was outside of your industry. Go to someone who, you go to your neighbor, go to someone that you know that's completely opposite, and show them your capability statement and see if they understand your capability statement. If they don't, that means you need to go back in and tweak it a little bit to make sure you have the right information. I will tell you again, with the private companies though, your capability statement should be one page too. You can do front and back, but it should not be multiple pages. They're not going to look at that. And then also when you're speaking to corporations, again, you should always have a hard copy with you if you're having an in-person conversation with them, but you should ask them, how would you like me to send you my capability statement? You have a soft copy that you can email them. Sometimes corporations, if they're meeting with a lot of companies, they're not going to want to pack all the stack of capability statements or carry all of them. So some of them might say, just email it to me. And when you email it to them, it's great because they can send that information to the appropriate person within their corporation as well. We do have, since we have time for 2 questions, how do you find out about matchmaker events? And how do you identify? So I will tell you, if you go to the WBEC-West, if you go to our website, we will occasionally have matchmakers out there. And you can go to them, and they're normally industry specific. But if you are interested in doing matchmakers, and if we've got some corporations that are interested in meeting with you all, we can also do virtual matchmakers as well. So that's something that our organization can do as well. And I think a matchmaker is fantastic because really it's just, you've got 8 minutes to really share your information, and you want to just give them just enough that they want to continue on. But you can go to WBEC-West website to find out about matchmakers. And if you don't see anything there, you can just email me to ask me, I don't see any matchmakers posted right now. Are there any matchmakers coming up? And I can look and do some research for you to find out if there's going to be some matchmakers, or Annette and those folks might be doing some for you that you guys don't know about soon. So that's one way of finding out. And then how do you identify which conferences with businesses providing procurement opportunities? Okay, so here's a trick. Research, well, this is what I would do first. You really need to figure out who your target audience is. So don't think about, I want to do business with everyone. Really focus on, 5 or 10 companies that you really want to try to meet. So when you do that, here's some of my hints that I would share with you. I would go into LinkedIn. I would go in there and see if you find out who that supplier diversity person is, or that organization, whatever that company is. Sometimes they're highlighting some of the organizations that they belong to. So then I would kind of show up at those sites. So for instance, like if you go to WBEC-West right now, if you go to our website and you go to About Us and hit on corporate members, it has a listing of our corporate board members. And then down below, you'll see that we have, I think it's 77 other corporations. But I always think of the folks that have volunteered to say they want to be part of the organization. That's who I want to talk to. So I see that Intel is on there. I see that Sony Entertainment is on there. Those are the companies that I want to meet with. So you just want to go to those websites to see what events that they're going to. And that really gives you a hint of where you need to show up. But for instance, WBEC-West, we're having our event is going to be September 17th, 18th, and 19th. And it's going to be held in Las Vegas, our annual conference. And what I would share with you is, if you're thinking about going to that, go to our website, see who those corporations are that are part of our board, and feel pretty confident that those corporations are going to be there for that event. And if you belong to other organizations, go to that site, see what those organizations are, and see what type of events that they have. But it's great to find the corporation. And then normally for the corporation, what I just learned, a lot of people follow the employees of the corporations more so than the corporation's name. So when you see those postings on the website, like I'm making this up, but I'm going to keep using Sony because I just talked to Lance today. But let's just say you go to Sony Entertainment and you see some postings about Lance and events that he's attended, then I would go to Lance's page and I would try to connect with Lance and then start developing a relationship with them to find out what events that he might recommend you go to as well. And see if they're, so it says we're attending the licensing expo in Las Vegas, which is similar to what you're describing. Perfect. So Cindy, if you're putting together your capability statements, I am going to volunteer to help you through that process. I can't do it for everyone, but if you're going to this event, I would love to see your first draft of it. And then I would be more than happy to give you some feedback and share it with the organization as well. So that's something that they can maybe share.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, you're very welcome.
Any more questions? We have a little bit more time. I'm seeing lots of thank you, mahalo, and hearts there, and such valuable information, and so much to take away with that, with those downloads, and a great model to build a statement on. Please put up your hand. Take this opportunity to ask what it is you need to know for your capability statement.
Something else I'd like to add. So when you're putting your capability, I wish I had one in front of me. When you're putting that capability statement together, And I'm just going to say my last name is Lomax. So maybe my company's name is Lomax Group. If that's on top, it's very clear the company is Lomax Group, but right below it, it should say a consulting firm for, you know, construction or whatever it is, because again, they should quickly be able to figure out what your company does, because sometimes it's not clear by your company name. And Leslie, it looks like you have your hand up.
I do. First of all, I just want to say thank you, Jamie. I learned so much. I am really excited since WBEC is a partner for working with Dr. Pamela Williamson to put together a virtual matchmaker event. MEDB will pledge to work on that, because obviously the distance between one that you would offer on the continent is sometimes cost prohibitive and time prohibitive. And then my last question to you is, we have a lot of DoD contractors here because we have the Space Force. And I know that the capability statement that they ask for, very traditional, is a quad chart. You know, you're doing a video presentation and they expect everything divided by 4 that will fit on a PowerPoint slide. That, you know, you'd either have hard copy of if you get a face-to-face meeting, or often initial meetings are virtual. So if you have any examples of clients that you've worked with, or WBEC has in their archives some women that, you know, do quad chart capability statements, women-owned business companies, I would love to see that. I'm making kind of a gender stereotype here, but for some of the men-owned companies, you know, they're just putting how many rams of megabytes and, you know, engineering equations, etc. I think we have a little bit more of a verbal story to tell about our capabilities. So just trying to see how we can be effective in that very prescribed format for a capability statement for some government contractors.
So I don't have a lot of that, but I have a good idea where I can get it. So I will look for that information. But funny, I've been trying to educate myself more on the capability statements for government. And so I'm more than happy to share some of the information that I've learned. So most of their capability statements, they want about the company name. So they want the about. They want to know your core competence. Again, the past performance. They also want to know feature clients, your codes and certification. What's important also is your SBA certification. And so WBEC-West, we certify for SBA as well. So I'm not sure if everybody knows that. We're one of the only third-party organizations that can do that. So if you're doing government and you're a small business, you want to make sure, as we were talking about those different logos, that you would put that you're WBEC certified and also that you're SBA certified. So that's something that's very important to them. And I was also trying to, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes, so I apologize because this was great information that I heard. So some of the things that that are important to them. Let's see. So some of the things to make you best in class for government. So here are some of the certifications or information that I've received. So those of you that are doing business, I'm hoping that this is going to help you. But what I received from my from a colleague was some of the best in class. Like when we see this on people's capability statements, it separates you. So it's the ISO, so the International Organization for Standardization, the CMMI Level 3. So CMMI Level 3, also the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. That is huge, especially if you're doing business with government. They want to know what your cybersecurity safety is and what's in place. Another thing that I heard, again, it's called FedRAMP. So those of you doing work, it's FEDRAMP. Got a couple more, everyone, but this is great intel, I'm telling you. There's one called, again, you have the Defense Contractor Management Agency, Department of Defense, which we were just talking about. And then there's a GSA schedule. Are you guys familiar with the GSA schedule? That's extremely important to do some research on that. And then the last one I see, it's Seaport -NXG. And I'm not well versed in those, but I know that this was the crop of the cream when you're putting capability statements, when you're going after government contracting. These are some of the things that they like to see on there.
Great. And I just want to remind everyone that MEDB is a partner with WBEC because of a grant from the SBA Community Navigator Program. And we are paying tuition for you to work with WBEC to get those important certifications that Jamie was talking about. But we're ramping down. We need to get women signed up to be in that program by the end of the month, by May 31st. So please, if you've been thinking about it, if you're on the fence, do it. It is not necessarily easy. It's time consuming and paper intensive. But with our partnership with WBEC, you get coaches that help you all along the way to keep you on track. So let's not let that window close. Again, before May 31st, let's get you in the system to see if you can achieve both the WBEC certification and the SBA woman-owned certification. It is so well worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Maui Economic Development, we appreciate doing business with you. And those of you that decide to get certified with us, every month we have a meeting talking about leveraging your certification. We can get you a seasoned ambassador, which really means it's another woman-owned business who's been utilizing their certification and have found benefit from utilizing it. They will share their information with you and how they've been able to do it. And the cost varies on the size of your business. And we do lots of forum events that are virtual. So it would be fantastic to get you all to dial in onto some of those as well when you become members of the organization. Well, they can because they're with your organization, to sit in on some of those on May 15th. And I'm going to double check that date to make sure I'm not, you know what, Leslie, I'm going to double check it and give it to you. Then you could share it with them.
Right.
But I'm going to do a virtual event for my Colorado folks, but I want to invite you all to be a part of it as well. And you'll get an opportunity to meet with several of our corporate members. And what they're going to do is they're going to talk about supplier diversity. They're going to talk about what their company is doing. And I can also ask them to say something about the capability statements and what it means to them as well. So we're going to kind of add on to this. And I'm sure Dr. Poundler would be absolutely okay with this. But so far I can share with you, we have Aflac that will be a part of it. So insurance company, Sony Entertainment, and I believe Intel will be there as well.
Awesome.
So that's May 15 off of our website. So again, I will send that information over to Leslie and Annette and all of you for the registration for those of you that might be interested in joining in.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, Jamie. And thanks for all your information today. I hope that call isn't at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. always a joy when we log into to continental, continental times, but hopefully we can work that out, and that would be a great addition. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of interest here. I've popped a slide up with our email address. If you are interested in taking us up on that certification option. Also, we will be, my next slide is about the feedback form, and we'll post that link in the chat. Your feedback is important for us to keep building on the series and the workshops and the offerings that MEDB provides to small business owners. So please let us know what you need. But in there, you can also mark that you want business assistance. So let us help you, help you with the various needs that you need to get certified or to help keep your business growing. That link for the Survey Monkey is there. It will be in the chat as well. So do help us with that. And also keep in mind, as well as that date that Jamie has suggested, it was May 15, we also have a QuickBooks getting started on QuickBooks workshop on May 4th. And this information is in the emails I sent you. It's also on our website, medb.org. If you go to our upcoming events, you'll be able to find details on getting started on QuickBooks, or our Maui Tech Ohana, which is in person and an opportunity to network and also learn about the work of the Maui Food Innovation Center as our guest speakers for the Maui Tech Ohana quarterly event. So a great opportunity, and it's at our building, MEDB's Malcolm Center. So keep those dates in mind. Look, if you haven't checked that out with your emails, we'll make sure you're on our list if you haven't been yet. But that's basically it. We'll send you an email with all the resources. I did have a query. Last question was about getting your number, Jamie.
Absolutely.
Or sending.
I will put that in here right now. So my promise to you all at the Maui Economics is I'm going to send you a PDF of some of the capability statements that I've worked with some of our WBEs, so you can see what those look like and you can share it with folks. And what was my other thing I said I was going to do? Oh, and I'm going to send you a clean document of what really should be on your capability statements, just to kind of help them out as well. So I'll make sure I get that over to you either today or first thing in the morning, so you can share it with everyone that was online today. So I'm going to put my contact information in here. What I would like for you all to do is I receive a lot of emails. So if you can put in your subject line, the Maui Economic Development Board, I will get to you within 24 hours. That is my promise to you. But you need to make sure you put that in there, because it will remind me we just had this discussion, so we can keep the ball rolling. Okay. And with that, does everyone know how to save the chat? Because I know there are some new folks on here. So does everyone know how to save the chat? And if you don't, let us know, and we're going to tell you really quickly how to do it.
Go ahead.
All right.
Okay. Tell us how.
So if you go where the chat is and you see the 3 dots, see where it has the 3 dots? If you click on that, you should see something that says Save Chat. And when you click on the Save Chat, that should go to your drives and be where your downloads are. So that should have captured everything in your chat for today.
Great tip. Thank you, Jamie.
Awesome.
And I know we get a copy with hosting it, but that's a great tip for anyone being on the call. So amazing source of information. Really enjoyed everything that you provided, and very engaging. And thank you to all of you for participating, asking questions, answering, and getting involved. So we look forward to further presentations and further opportunities to assist the small businesses of Maui and Hawaii. Mahalo.
Yes. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.